think the kid's on trouble. All of us, when we listen to something, if we're not emotionally pulled into it in an emotional way, no matter how well written the thing seems to be or how good the music is, sometimes those things don't add up to a good song. And if it doesn't affect us on some sort of actual, sincere, emotional level, we will get really bored with it and we'll let it go.
I've had experiences with particularly Alligator, the first one that got me, where I just had to put it back on the shelf. It's just sort of, I love it, but it's affecting me too much. I know this is an inherent part of your appeal with your fans and things as well. How do you manage to keep that sort of emotional resonance?
A lot of what you're talking about comes from the lyrics, and that it is, Matt's not afraid to be emotional. There is like a certain amount of heart in them that is part of why we were really drawn to him initially.
I'll say for the record though that I only write lyrics listening to the music, so I blame them for whatever emotional torment that they
well, I was going to say
me with.
It isn't just a lyrical thing. There are the ways that the music pulls out the feeling sort of quite profoundly.
I'm reacting. I mean, like writing lyrics and writing melodies. I'm reacting to the music. I don't have lyrics laying around that I'm waiting for music for. I only write when I'm listening to the music.
When you're on stage, it's sort of, you each seem like you go to a specific internal space. You're getting quite a sort of, a real effect on stage from an audience member's perspective anyway. Could you describe to me where it is you do go when you're on stage?
I actually close my eyes and kind of go into like inside my head. That gets tricky when you do 6, 7, 8 shows in a row. By the end of every tour, I think all of us are a little bit weirder than we were when the tour started. Yeah, it's a weird thing to you have to go to. I go to a weird space every night to do it, and I love it. I love it. I don't know how healthy it is though.
You're one of the few bands that seems to able to glide almost wherever it is you want between these sort of traditional low, for want of a better word, rock and roll spaces and high art centres, and do it quite effortlessly.
There's a funny thing, we've learned that the thing we do as a band, whether it's like the ugly rock and reckless punk side of it, works great in an elegant, beautiful setting, you know? We don't have to like, you know, button up and be polite or anything like that, and nobody would want us to anyway, so. I was carried to Ohio in a swarm of
we grew up playing basically in punk rock clubs for many years, and so the chemistry that occurred on small stages for small audiences is sort of like in our DNA. So no matter how big the venue or how prestigious the venue, the chemistry that's playing out on stage is that same chemistry.
I kind of become the same gorilla, whether we're in a fancy place or a punk bar or whatever. We've gotten into trouble at some of the fancier places because of broken things and whatnot, but promise nothing too serious.
We'll be fine.
That's why you're outside.
Yeah, that's why they put us outside. Is that why?
What's especially exciting is like certain venues like this, you know, doing something here that's in the Opera House, like such an incredible space. So for us, that's like, those are the special gigs that you remember, and that we, again, realize how lucky we are to be able to do.